Maybe I should move to Paris. Everyone knows that Paris is the most beautiful city in the world. Imagine growing up in Paris. I feel like kids in Paris probably dress really cool. Like kind of artsy and intellectual looking, like young poets or something. I picture this guy who looks really interesting, kind of like he's depressed and tired and doesn't care about what he wears at all, but somehow ends up looking really unique. He writes in a little leather notebook in a sloppy handwriting, and he's a bit of a loner, or maybe a bit of a stoner. But he has a bunch of friends. They have really deep connections and they wander the streets at night, smoking cigarettes, looking for adventures, taking cool pictures with like an analog camera. And when he's older, he'll be a painter. He'll have a little attic studio with a big window that looks out at Parisian rooftops. In the mornings, he'll make himself black coffee with one of those French coffee thingies, and he'll smoke cigarettes while staring out of his window, thinking about life. And he has brown, curly hair, and he has green eyes. Or brown eyes? No, he has green eyes. And he's a bit shy and soft-spoken and humble, but he's really talented and smart. Wow, I think I'm in love with this guy. If only I lived in Paris, maybe I would have met him by now.
There's a package for you.
Marianne often gets the sense that her real life is happening somewhere very far away from her. This feeling comes accompanied with vague images of what her real life might look or feel like, but never with concrete ones. She worries that she'll never find out where it's happening or how to become a part of it.
There's a package for you.
If you ask me, I think Marianne suffers from chronic Paris syndrome. Paris syndrome is a term invented by the Japanese to describe an extreme form of disappointment that some tourists experience upon arrival in Paris. This disappointment can be so severe that it causes symptoms such as panic attacks, acute derealization, illness, and even depression. It might seem like an overreaction to suffer such extreme symptoms from disappointment with a holiday destination, but it actually makes a lot of sense. When you've been aware of a distant place for most of your life, when it has functioned as a destination for you to project your hopes and dreams onto, it can be hard to come to terms with the fact that this place doesn't exist in the way you thought it did. And the hardest part about coming to terms with that is that you'll probably come to realize that you were never exactly sure of what you were expecting in the first place. The world all of a sudden seems shapeless. Most people overcome Paris syndrome after a couple of days. After the initial shock with reality, they start learning how to base their hopes and dreams on what reality has to offer. And eventually, they'll start to see their hopes and dreams reflected in the things around them. The world gains a shape again. But some people have a harder time overcoming Paris syndrome. It lives in them ambiently throughout the course of their lives. The shapelessness of the world terrifies them. They become confused. They don't know where to look or what it is they're trying to find. They spend their lives fantasizing about distant places, projecting feelings of longing onto them, but never longing for something concrete. They can't seem to recognize their hopes and dreams in the real world. And that's what I call chronic Paris syndrome. Marianne is still quite young. Hopefully she'll figure out one day what this means to her and where to find it.